How desire increases the power to realize dreams. Our heart's desires, our soul's aspirations, are something more than mere vaporings of the imagination or idle dreams. They are prophecies, predictions, forerunners of things which can become realities. They are indicators of possibilities. They measure the height of our aim, the range of our efficiency. What we yearn for, earnestly desire, and strive to bring about tends to become a reality. Our ideals are the foreshadowing outlines of realities behind them, the substance of the things hoped for. The sculptor knows that his ideal is not just fantasy of his imagination, but that it is a prophecy, a foreshadowing of that which will carve itself in real marble. When we begin to desire a thing, to yearn for it with all our heart, we begin to establish a relationship with it in proportion to the strength and persistency of our longing and intelligent effort to realize it. The trouble with us is that we live too much in the material side of life and not enough in the ideal. We should learn to live mentally in the ideal which we wish to make real. If we want, for example, to keep young, we should live in the mental state of youth. To be beautiful, we should live more in the mental state of beauty. The advantage of living in the ideal is that all imperfections, physical, mental, and moral, are eliminated. We cannot see old age because old age is incompleteness, decrepitude, and these qualities cannot exist in the ideal. In the ideal, everything is youthful and beautiful. There is no suggestion of decay, of ugliness. The habit of living in the ideal, therefore, helps us wonderfully because it gives a perpetual pattern of the perfection for which we are striving. It increases hope and faith in our ultimate perfection and divinity because in our vision we see glimpses of reality which we instinctively feel must sometime, somewhere be ours. The habit of thinking and asserting things as we would like to have them, or as they ought to be, and out of stoutly claiming our wholeness and completeness, believing that we cannot lack any good thing because we are one with all good, supplies the pattern which the life process within us will reproduce. Keep constantly in your mind the ideal of the man or woman you would like to become. Hold the ideal of your efficiency and wholeness and instantly strangle every disease image or suggestion of inferiority. Never allow yourself to dwell upon your weakness, deficiencies, or failures. Holding firmly the ideal and working vigorously to attain it will help you realize it. There is a tremendous power in the habit of expectancy, of believing that we shall realize our ambition, that our dream will come true. There is no more uplifting habit than that of bearing a hopeful attitude, of believing that things are going to turn out well and not ill, that we are going to succeed and not fail, that no matter what may or may not happen, we are going to be happy. There is nothing else so helpful as the carrying of these optimistic, expectant attitude, the attitude which always looks for and expects the best, the highest, the happiest, and never allowing oneself to get into a pessimistic, discouraged mood. Believe with all your heart that you will do what you were made to do. Never for an instant harbor a doubt of it. Drive it out of your mind if it seeks entrance. Entertain only the friend thoughts or ideals of things you are determined to achieve. Reject all thought enemies, all discouraging moods, everything which would even suggest failure or unhappiness. It does not matter what you're trying to do or to be, always assume an expectant, hopeful, optimistic attitude regarding it. You'll be surprised to see how you will grow in all your faculties and how you will improve generally. When the mind has once formed the habit of holding cheerful, happy, prosperous pictures, it will not be easy to form the opposite habit. If our children could only acquire this one habit, it would revolutionize our civilization very quickly and advance our life standards immeasurably. A mind so trained would always be in a condition to exercise its maximum power and overcome disharmony, unkindness, and the 101 enemies of our peace, comfort, efficiency, and success. The very habit of expecting that the future is full of good things for you, that you are going to be prosperous and happy, that you're going to have a wonderful family, a beautiful home, and are going to stand for something, is the best kind of capital with which to start life. What we try to persistently express, we tend to achieve, even though it may not seem likely or even possible. If we always try to express the ideal, the thing we'd like to come true in our lives, whether it be robust health, a noble character, or a superb career, if we visualize it as vividly as possible and try with all our might to realize it, it is much more likely to come to us than if we do not. Many people allow their desires and longings to fade out. They do not realize that the very persistency of desire increases the power to realize their dreams. The constant effort to keep the desire alive increases the capacity to realize vision. It does not matter how improbable or how far away this realization may seem, or how dark the prospect may be. If we visualize them as best we can, as vividly as possible, hold tenaciously to them, and vigorously work to attain them, they will gradually become actualized, realized in life. But a desire, a longing without endeavor, a yearning abandoned or held indifferently, will vanish without realization. It is only when desire crystallizes into resolve, however that is effective. It is the yearning, the longing, and striving together that produce results. We are constantly increasing or decreasing our efficiency by the quality and character of our thoughts, emotions, and ideals. If we could always hold the ideal of wholeness and think of ourselves as perfect beings, any tendency to disease anywhere would be neutralized by this restorative healing force. Think and say only that which you wish to become true. People who are always excusing themselves, constantly saying that they are tired, used up, played out, all in, that they are all out of balance somewhere, that they are always unfortunate, unlucky, that fate seems to be against them, that they are poor and always expect to be, that they have worked hard and tried to get ahead but could not, don't realize that they are etching these black pictures, enemies of their peace, happiness, and success, and the very things which they ought to wipe out of their minds forever, deeper and deeper into their consciousness, and are making it all the more certain that they will be realized in their lives. Never for an instant admit that you are sick, weak, or ill, unless you wish to experience these conditions, for the very thinking of them helps to get a stronger hold on you. We are all the products of our own thoughts. Whatever we concentrate upon is what we are. The daily habit of picturing oneself as a superb man sent to earth with a divine mission and with the ability and the opportunity to deliver it grandly gives a marvelous confidence, uplifting power, and perpetual encouragement. If you wish to improve yourself in any area, visualize the quality as vividly and as tenaciously as possible, and hold a superior ideal along the line of your ambition. Keep this persistently in the mind until you feel its uplift and realization in your life. Gradually, the weak, imperfect man, which mistakes, unhappy living have made, will be replaced by the ideal man, your other, better God self. Every life follows its ideal, is colored by it, takes on its character, becomes like it. You can read a man's character if you know his ideal, for this always dominates his life. Our ideals are great character molders and have a tremendous life-shaping influence. Our heart's habitual desire soon shows itself in the face, outpictures itself in life. We cannot keep from the face that which we habitually live in our minds. we develop the quality of thought, emotion, ideal, or ambition which takes the strongest hold upon us. Therefore, you should let everything in you point towards superiority, nobility. Let there be an upward trend in your thinking. Resolve that you will never have anything to do with inferiority in your thoughts or your actions, that whatever you do shall bear the stamp of excellence. This is upreaching of the mind, the stretching of the mentality toward higher ideals and grander things, has an elevating, transforming influence which tends to lift the whole life to higher levels. Human life is so constructed that we live largely upon hope, the faith that runs ahead and sees what the physical eye cannot see. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the outline of the image itself, the real substance, not merely a mental image. There is something behind faith, behind hope, behind the heart's yearnings. There is a reality to match our legitimate longing. What we believe is coming to us is a tremendous creative motive. The dream of home, of prosperity, the expectancy of being a person of influence, of standing for something, of carrying weight in our community. All these things are powerful, creative motives. Your whole thought current must be set in the direction of your life purpose. The great miracles of civilization are brought about by thought concentration. Live in the very soul of expectation of better things and the conviction that something large, grand, and beautiful waits for you if your efforts are intelligent, if your mind is kept in a creative condition, and you work upward to your goal. Live in the conviction that you are eternally progressing, advancing towards something higher, better, in every atom of your being. Many people have an idea that it is dangerous to indulge their dreaming faculties, their imagination, very much for fear that in doing so they would become impractical. But these faculties were given to us for a divine purpose, so that we could get a glimpse of intangible realities. They enable us to live in the ideal, even when we are compelled to work in the midst of a disagreeable or inhospitable environment. Our dreaming capacity gives us a peep into the glorious realities that await us further on. It is the evidence of things possible to us. Building air castles should no longer be looked at as an idle, meaningless pastime. We first build our castles in our consciousness, picture them in detail in our ambition, before we put foundations under them and reality into them. Dreaming is not always castle building. Every real castle, every home, every building was an air castle first. Legitimate dreaming is creative. It is bringing into reality our desires, the thing for which we long and hope. A building would be impossible without the plans of an architect. It must be created mentally. The architect sees behind the plans, the building, in all of its perfection and beauty. Whatever comes to us in life we create first in our mentality. As the building is a reality in all its details in the architect's mind before a stone or brick is laid, so we create mentally everything which later becomes a reality in our achievement. Our visions are the plans of the possible life structure, but they will end in plans if we do not follow them up with a vigorous effort to make them real, just as the architect's plans will end in his drawings if they are not followed up and made real by the builder. All men who have achieved great things have been dreamers, and what they have accomplished has been just in proportion to the vividness, the energy, and persistency with which they visualized their ideals, held to their dreams, and worked to make them come true. Do not give up on your dream because it is apparently not being realized, because you cannot see it coming true. Cling to your vision with all the tenacity you can summon. Keep it bright. Do not let the bread and butter side of life cloud your ideal or dim it. Keep in an ambition-arousing atmosphere. Read books that will stimulate your ambition. Get close to people who have done what you are trying to do and try to absorb the secret of their success. This mental visualizing of the ideal as vividly and as sharply as possible is the mental molding of the thing that will finally match your vision with its reality. That will make your dream come true. Take a little time before retiring at night and get by yourself. Sit quietly and think and dream to your heart's content. Do not be afraid of your vision or of your powers to dream. The faculty to dream was not given to mock you. There is a reality behind it. It is a divine gift intended to give you a glimpse of the grand things in store for you and to lift you out of the common into the uncommon, out of the hampering, iron conditions into ideal ones, and to show you that these things can become realities in your life. These glimpses into paradise are intended to keep us from getting discouraged by our failures and disappointments. The sacred longings of soul are given to us as a constant reminder that we can make our lives sublime, that no matter how disagreeable or unfriendly our surroundings may be, we can lift ourselves into the ideal conditions which we see in our vision. There is a divinity behind our legitimate desires. Our mental attitude, our heart's desire, is our perpetual prayer which nature answers. She takes it for granted that we desire what our heart asks for, that what we want we are headed toward, and she helps us to it. People sometimes don't realize that their desires are their perpetual prayers, not head prayers, but heart prayers, and that they are granted. We are all conscious that there accompanies us through life a divine messenger, given to protect and direct us, a messenger who will answer all our interrogations. No one is mocked with a desire which he has no ability to attain. If he holds the right mental attitude and struggles earnestly, honestly towards his goal, he will reach it, or at least approximate to it. There is a tremendous creative, producing power in the perpetual focusing of the mind along the line of the desire, the ambition. It develops a marvelous power to attract, to create the thing we long for. Our heart's desires inspire our creative energies to do the things we long for. They are a constant tonic to our faculties and increase our ability, tending to make our dreams come true. Nature is a great one-price storekeeper who hands us out what we ask for if we pay the price. Our thoughts are like roots which reach out in every direction into the cosmic ocean of formless energy, and these thought roots set in motion vibrations like themselves and attract the affinities of our desires and ambitions. The bird does not have an instinct to fly south in the winter without a real south to match it. Nor has the Creator given to us these heart's desires, soul longings, for a larger, completer life, for an opportunity for a full expression of our possibilities, or the longing for immortality, without a reality to match them. Everything in the vegetable world, our flowers, our fruits, come to their natural flowering, fruitage, and ripeness at the appointed time. The winter does not surprise the buds before they have had an opportunity to open up. The fruit is ready to drop off the trees before the snow comes. The growth is not stunted. But if we should find when the winter came that all our fruit was still green, that the flowers were still in bud, and that instead of having developed, they were cut off by the cold, we would realize that there was something at fault somewhere. And when we find that no one out of the hundreds of millions of human beings ever ripens into completeness, is never even half developed before cut off by death, we know here also something is wrong. The windfalls which we see on every hand under the life tree are not normal. There is something wrong when men and women inheriting godlike qualities and capable of infinite possibilities fall off the life tree before they are half matured. We feel the same protest that the windfall apple feels against having its life blighted and cut off before it has had time to ripen, to develop its possibilities. The same protest that oak trees, still sleeping in possibility in the acorn, which is just beginning to sprout, feels when it is ruthlessly torn from the soil. Even the men most richly endowed with the ability, education, and opportunity, even the giants of the race, after the most complete life possible, feel, as they stand on the edge of the grave, that they are but human acorns, with all their possibilities still in them, just beginning to sprout. But it will not always be this way. All analogy teaches us that human life will eventually have an opportunity for its complete blossoming, full fruitage, and self-expression. There will, if we follow our vision, be a time and opportunity for the blossoming of our desires, the fulfillment of our ambition, the ripening of our ideals, for they are the petals in the closed bud which will find an opportunity, sometime, somewhere, to open up and release their fragrance and beauty without diseases or bruises that strangle growth. Our instinctive desire for the time and opportunity for the complete unfoldment of our powers, our senses of the unfairness, the unfitness of being cut off before we have had half enough time in which to mature, to ripen, all these are greater evidences that there are realities to match these heart's desires and soul yearnings than have ever been printed in any book. We are beginning to see that there is the material in every being to make the ideal perfect man or perfect woman. If we could only mentally hold the perfect pattern, the perfect ideal persistently so that it would become the dominant mental attitude, it would soon be woven into the life and we should become perfect human beings. The divine injunction to be perfect, even as the Creator is perfect, was not given to mock man. The possibility of our waking in the Creator's likeness is literally true.